talk about that. But let me ask this question. Someone listening to you will want to know that the government does have a lot of priorities. You're talking about the economy. You're talking about the education sector. You're talking about electricity, the water supply, and all of that. Give us an idea as to why is the government putting its weight here, because if you follow the sports activities, you get to know that you almost sort of the ministers were there. I even heard that the minister of defense was even there playing as well. Why is the government putting its weight and putting its focus on this whole issue of the at-risk youth?
Because the issue of the at-risk youth is one of the top priorities of the president.
Okay.
One of the top priorities of the president, because the president believes, and we, his lieutenant, happen to agree with him, that if we don't address the issue of the at-risk youth, it's going to be the next national security risk. And our partners also agree with us. So it's an issue we have to address, and it has to be holistic. That is why our tent is opened. We are not closing in. The private businesses, private individuals, those who have the expertise in dealing with people who may have mental health, who have background in social work, who may have background in psychosocial counseling. We need everybody on board.
Okay.
We need everybody, because there should be there's a national issue, like the president said. It is not a political issue. We have even invited the head of all of the major political parties to come on Thursday. This issue we need to look at and address as a country, as a people. So yes, it is a top priority of the president. That's part of his agenda. And we have his lieutenant. That's why the steering committee was constituted.
Okay.
For us to make sure that the president's dreams and aspirations, when it comes to the plight of these at-risk youth, we'll make sure that we'll fulfill that.
Okay, we'll be looking deep into the president's aspiration and dream for the at-risk youth. But if you spoke about at-risk youth, who are you making reference to? Let's try to identify them.
I'm making reference to those we commonly call Zogos.
Okay.
But we as a government refer to them as at-risk because we think the word Zogo is stigmatizing. So we address them as at-risk youth.
Across the country or just in Montserrat?
Well, it's a 10-year program
Okay.
in phases, but we begin with Montserrat County. So yes, it will touch all 15 political subdivisions because these folks are in all of the counties.
And do we know their number?
Well, there are studies that put the number. Some studies say there are about 36,000 in Monrovia and 86,000 in the rest of the country. Other studies put it at 100,000, estimated in the entire country. But that is why the UNFPA, under the same program, will be hiring an international consultant and a local consultant to do a map-up of the entire country. We want to get some numbers too.
Okay.
So that survey,
The actual numbers.
that survey will be conducted shortly.
Okay.
Will be probably between 30 to 45 days, funded by the UNFPA. And that tells you our development partners are also on board with us on this thing. In fact, in 2021, you see UNFPA funded another survey for which we have data to show, but we need to get because the population is growing every day. So we need a more recent data. So that's why they want to finance a new mapping up before the end of this year.
We talk about the president's dream and aspiration for those young people. But let me ask you, Mr. Minister, you are heading the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and we are currently talking about at-risk youth. How often or closely are you in contact with them?
Well, I'm engaged. I'm engaged with the young folk people on a daily basis.
On a daily basis?
I'm engaged with them. In fact, there's a lady called Israel King who works directly with them. She's like their mother. We gave her an office, and she's also on the secretariat of this program. So we work closely with them. Every time, even our folks here at Zimbabwe had a problem over the week. Last week, they called me to get
And you went there?
involved. They called me. I didn't go there, but what they wanted was my intervention, which I did. I called the DA, I called the police, and then we work things out. Yes, I'm in contact with them.
And do you visit them regularly?
When
Maybe all the ghettos and all of that?
Not regularly, but I do visit them, but not regularly. In fact, Before COVID, I had regular meetings. I used to go to some of the ghettos or around the ghettos and have create awareness, try to engage them. But these are folks that I interact with. And in fact, when I go to Ministry of Finance, there's a group there. I got my son, I call him Gange. He's at what a place near Penham Building. In fact, I was told he was not well, so he couldn't be on the program. We found out from Tony, who is the head of the group there, to find out how is he doing, how is he faring, and what I need to do to help him medically. So, yes,
So
I'm
when
engaged.
you visit them like that, how do they greet you?
Oh, are they coming there, Papi?
Okay, they call you the puppy.
I mean,
And you drop something there.
Oh, I mean, yeah, of course, even during COVID, I used to go there, carry food around the various ghettos to make sure they get something to eat, and every time they see me, they say, Papi, we want to get out of the drug issue is killing us. And that is why this program is just not about just the rehabilitation of these young people, but about the drugs law as well, because we believe strongly. And I'm happy that I spoke to Senator Dillon the other day, and he said the Senate is looking at this law carefully, and I hope they can pass the law as soon as possible, because we believe that those that are bringing the drugs into this country, if found guilty, their crimes should not be bailable.
Surely.
They should remain behind bars. We can't be always putting the victims behind bars, prosecuting the victims, while those who are the perpetrators who bring the drugs into the country, they go scot-free. So there has to be some reform to the drugs law in this country if we are to address this issue. And this program is not so much about just rehabilitating them. Every facet of they are getting into this lifestyle, what brings them into it, what causes them to get into that, we want to address everything. We also want to have preventive measures.
Okay.
That is why family reintegration in this process is
It's
very,
very
very
important.
important.
Okay.
From just the other day, the president was telling us a story. He had gone to Newport Street to engage some of the young folks, and he saw a guy he knew from Gibraltar. He walked to him and said, "What are you doing here? Get back home. Go back. And when I come to do community, I want to see you there. You don't belong here." And the guy said, "Okay, chief, I'm going back there." A couple of weeks later, he went to do community in the Gibraltar area. He saw the guy and said, "Papi, I'm here. Oh, I'm trying to work with the community." So you see, because he knows the president knows him. So family reintegration is very, very important to this process.
Surely.
And that is what the ministry agenda will be focused on through that psychosocial counseling. Because even after you have gone through this program and you are successful, the ministry agenda will still follow you to make sure that you and your family, because we need that family support, that parental guardian, we need it. And most of the parents got upset,
Yeah.
they feel
Frustrated
embarrassed,
as well.
frustrated because they get their folks, they can't get off the drugs, some of them stealing, what have you. But in the Liberian way, there is no bad bush to throw a child.
Surely.
So we have to work together with them to make sure the family themselves get the support from the government, and they work with the folks once they are rehabilitated to make them serviceable and good citizens of this country.
So let's unpack the president's dream and aspiration for them. What is it the president's thinking about them?
Well, the president wants them to be serviceable to society in a positive way.
Okay.
He wants to make sure that, number one, they are out of drugs, that they don't go back to doing drugs. He wants to make sure that they have some form of livelihood skills that will make them contribute meaningfully to society. What does that mean? Providing them vocational and technical training is very, very important. And also, during the intake process, he wants to know what are the various sicknesses they have, what are things they're going through, so we can treat them. Before they even get into the program, they have to be treated. Maybe some of them may have mental health issues. We have to treat them. And, so that's why we'll need professionals to be around.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, the president wants to make sure that they reunite with their family, and we connect them to job market or provide them seed money and 2 kids, so that if you can find a job out there, you can do your own business. So that's why already, besides just detoxification and psychosocial. There will be other life skills training provided to them to make them understand that, look, this is not where your future is. You have a brighter and better future. And these folks have skills. Some of them are college students, college graduates. Some of them are high school graduates. Yes, some of them are dropout. But yet and still, we have to cater to them. That is why vocational and technical education is very, very important. If some of them want to go back, if they were in college, they want to complete their college education, we should be there to support them. Those are the dreams and aspirations of the president when it comes to the young folks. He wanted to be productive citizens.
Okay. Now, so in furtherance of his dream and aspiration, I understand there's this big stakeholders conference that has been scheduled. Tell us where, when, and what are some of the things that will be done at the conference?
So the conference, the National Fund Drive for the Rehabilitation and Empowerment of At-Risk Youth, that's the name, will be held on this Thursday, June 30th, beginning at 10 a.m. At the Ministerial Complex. We have invited the members of the diplomatic community, our development partners, businesses, big, small, medium, civil society organizations, private citizens. You know, they are all government officials. They've all been invited. So on that day, we will be having series of activities. We will have first a PowerPoint presentation, a very brief one, to show the gathering what we are talking about, those we are targeting, what we intend to do. And then there will be other testimonial from the affected group we are talking about, the at-risk youth.
You have representatives there at the conference.
Yes. We also will have testimonial from the program we ran with the UN system, with the UNDP and UNFPA called SEED, the Social Economic Empowerment Disadvantaged Youth.
Okay.
We have somebody from there who went through that program, is successful doing his or her business. We give a testimonial. And then the president will deliver he will deliver a statement launching the program and making government initial commitment to this process. And thereafter, we have 3-minute speeches from select members of the diplomatic community, from business and from the legislature, from the judiciary, what have you, and even from the government. We have people making just 3-minute remarks. So that will be the activities for Thursday.
Now, do we know the initial contribution of the government? Have you been told about that?
And the president will announce that.
Oh, okay. So I told you I had a word already. Now, how much of the involvement, Mr. Minister, that the government really wants from its, development partners, the one UN system, and all of that?
Well, the thing is that we are looking at 13.8 million. That is the estimated budget, and part of this amount will be the renovation. I think 6.5 million will go toward the renovation of the Youth Agriculture Training Center in Bensonville to transform it into a rehabilitation center for the average youth that will have 14 different trades. And the rest of the money will go toward the other administrative and direct implementation costs of this project.
Okay.
So that is what the budget is, and our partners have the budget, and the government will come up with an initial amount, and we look forward to having our partner match that or even go beyond. But look, we are beginning the process. They say 1,000-mile journey begin with the first step.
Sure.
And so that's the first step we are taking, and we show there will be more to come. One, there is a seriousness demonstrated in this process. There is transparency, there's accountability, and the willingness for us to actually get this done has been demonstrated already from the various activities we are having. So we are confident that we'll meet our target, even in that Thursday, but down the road.
What's about the business community?
They're all invited.
Okay.
They're all invited. All of the big business. We invited the big, the large, the medium, the small, everyone invited. Okay. We send letters out, and we're encouraging them to come. Don't think about how much, they say in our Liberian way, a little drop can fill the bucket. All the businesses are not equal.
Sure.
They don't have equal financial might. But whatever we can all do collectively will mean something to the outraged youth.
Okay.
We mean that we are serious about it. That's why we're not only limiting our involvement to just government or the international community, we want everybody to be involved.
Okay. Now, let's assume, Mr. Minister, because we want you now to explain to us the mechanics. Let's assume that we were able to raise maybe some of the money, maybe half of it. How have you done the arrangement? After you've raised some money, what next and what next and what next?
So two things. First, we have established two bank accounts at UBA, just so you know. One is a Liberian dollar account, one is a US dollar account. We also established mobile money account too, so anybody want to chip in mobile money, you can do that too. So, depending on how much money we raise on Thursday, we have two approaches we want to tackle.
Okay.
One, we identify the urgent renovation needs at the center.
Okay.
And those are the first thing we will target. Then a portion of that money, because we don't believe that center needs to be fully rehabilitated or renovated before we start intervention. Then the portion of the money will be diverted to intervention immediately, where the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Gender, with other private individuals who have expressed interest given their expertise to begin to. There's already an operational plan,
Okay.
but that operational plan may need to be tweaked so that we start intervention. What do I mean by intervention? We want to employ the seed approach, where we had drop-in centers in 3 different locations, but this time we had drop-in center in more than 3, so we can begin the intake process. Last week I had a successful meeting with the Institution of TVET and Science and to get their buy-in. And that meeting was very productive because we believe that there may be some of these folks who may not need severe intervention. Maybe they're not on drugs, but they just find themselves where they find themselves because maybe peer pressure, family abandonment. Through the intake process, we get to know them.
Okay.
And maybe carry on some intervention, and they need to be linked to a vocational and technical school immediately. So that's where the private TV institution come in. That's why I had a meeting with them, and they have agreed whatever the cost is to attend that institution. By end of our folks, they will give us a 50% discount.
Okay.
That is laudable. I want to thank Mr. Louis Tropa and his group for that. So these are the interventions we start, and we also determine during the intake process what kind of a sicknesses they've had, who need the intervention. Because we're going to get biometric article, we're going to be there, take biometric article, paid for by the government. We're going to make sure we create a database for them so that we have them in the system, because this is how we actually know the number by creating a database. So the intervention will start immediately. We're not going to wait. Those that require more intervention, like put in the institution. There are some private institutions around the country, especially in Monrovia area. We can begin to engage them. We can put some of them there. And what have you, but the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Gender will design that with some private individuals who have expertise in that area. We will start the process immediately because we don't have time to waste.
Okay, now, so you start the process immediately, the intervention. So let's assume that you were able to raise maybe out of the 13.8 million, maybe you were able to raise about $8 million maybe on the first day. How and when are you really, you said immediately though, but I want you to put a time tag. How and when are you going to do it in trying to recruit them? Where are you going to, how are you going to do it? Is it, sending men to, let's assume, to the ghettos and get their particular, or how are you going to, just tell us about the
process. Like I just said, we had drop-in centers, like we did a seed program. We had drop-in centers where they would come to get initially recorded. That is why we
you put an announcement.
Yeah, we're creating awareness. There'll be community awareness.
Okay.
That's why we started last week, Thursday, at the Penal Building. We wanted them to know that when the process gets started, they shouldn't be afraid to think, we are asking them to come do this because we want the police and DA to arrest them.
Okay.
No arresting business. We want to intervene. So the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Gender will identify various drop-in centers We engage the various communities. There will be people in the various communities going there to create an awareness.
Okay.
When I mean start immediately, those are the things I'm talking about. Got to create the awareness. We got the community leaders involved. Let everybody know what we're going to be doing. Then the centers, trap-in center, be identified. There will be date set for people to come to begin the intake.
Okay.
All of the logistics are required. We may need to get a laptop. We need to get other equipment for the staff. The staff need to be trained. These are all of the things. When I say start immediately, all of these got to be put in place before the folks get to the
So when you start the intake, Mr. Minister, are you going to, when I talk about you, I'm talking about you and your team though, are you going to begin also the immediate demolition of those ghettos when you start the intake?
No, our intention is not to start demolishing the ghettos because that's where they live. And even though the place may not be conducive, but if we were to demolish the ghettos right now, the question becomes, where do you expect them to go?
Okay.
So I don't think our approach is to do that. That's why the police and the DA made it clear to them that, look, we begin to work with you, but at the same time, we not encourage crimes.
Okay.
If anybody bringing drugs to you to sell drugs, you let us know. If anybody try to harass you, let us know. But at the same time, we not encourage you guys breaking the law and doing all kind of criminal activities. So that message is clear. So at this moment, our intent is not to break the ghettos because they're where they live. And we don't have anywhere to take them at this point in time. But I'm sure when the process kicks off, even during the intake process, we also, because we're asking them various questions. And one of the questions will be family connection, family contact. Maybe in the process of family, we see what we start to do is, oh, you know what I mean? I think I give my child a second chance, let him come home. Well, that would be good for us because you'll be taking that child out of the ghetto and that will reduce the number. So there will be different approaches we look at because this girl will work with Kimberly. I know what she does is what she carry the folks through that program. She rents room for them like $20 where they live there together. She doesn't want to go back in the ghetto. That could be another approach we'll look at.
Okay.
If the need be that we can find rooms around where we can put 2-3 of them there, try to help feed them, and they'll get out of the ghetto. That would be an approach. But at this time, at this present time, it is not our intention to demolish their ghetto and take them from there.
You're listening to the Super Morning Show, rated on the OBC 99.9 and other frequencies across Liberia. We have the chair or the head of the National Steering Committee for the At-Risk Youth Empowerment Program that the government will be launching, I'm sure, this Thursday, raising some 13.8 million United States dollars to ensure that our young people can be reclaimed from the streets and empowered so that they can be sufficient and they can be good citizens to help with our national program. Now, so our national development efforts. Mr. Minister, before we open the lines, after you've done the rehabilitation, just give us an idea, and you've done the intaking as well. How many persons and how long would those people maybe go through the rehabilitation, after which the training program before another batch can be enrolled?
So if we were to say the center was open and everything is set in the Youth Agriculture Training Center, so there will be a 30 months program where people go in rotation 150. So you get the first 150.
30 days or 30 months?
No, I said 30 months.
Okay.
You got 2.5 years.
Okay.
So if the center was up and running and everything is there, then we carry them through rotation. We get the first 150.
Okay.
That will go through the first intake. Once they get to phase 2, that has to do with capacity building, they'll bring another 150. You follow me? So that process, in doing it the way we design the program, will take 1,500, 1,500. But with the seed approach, we may end up doing more because it's like the center is being renovated. So we looking for intervention. And like I said, there are different categories of folks that are involved in this group.
Okay.
Like for instance, the guy that was playing the football game the other day. If you saw the guys play, unless somebody tells you that the guys are Ratio or the Azogos, you wouldn't know the Azogos. So we can logically conclude that those guys that were playing the game, they may be at a higher level than many of their friends. So those folks, you ask yourself, do they really need to go through all of the processes? Probably at a limited, phase, and that will be determined by the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Gender.
Okay.
So there are various categories of them that through the intake process we found out, and we may be able to reach more people until that place is renovated and taken in.
07. Okay. 0776 540 987. Again, 0776 540 987. Or better still, 0880 514 096. Again, 0880 514 096. Let me play this, and then I return after playing this jingle. I return and take calls. Please, let me play this.
The government of Liberia and development partners are working together to address a situation of over 100,000 at-risk youth, known as Zogos, in the form of a massive fund drive to be held on Thursday, June 30th, 2022, 10 a.m. at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex. Now check this out. This conference is intended to raise over $13 million United States dollars to be used to implement the at-risk youth empowerment programs. This is everybody's business. Therefore, we are calling on the business community, civil society, diaspora citizens, and everybody to help by donating cash to reach this goal. Donation can be made through mobile money at 0888-800-122 or Orange Money at 0779-854 992 or at UPA Bank. Just ask for the National At-Risk Youth Fund Drive or general contribution at the event. Any amount donated will help your fellow Liberians. The National Fund Drive for the rehabilitation and empowerment of at-risk youth with the team Reclaiming Our Youth for a Better Liberia. This is a national call to help at-risk youth for a better Liberia and a better future.
Okay, you're listening to the SMS directed on the OBC 99.9. Let's take this first call on the line quickly. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Minister.
Good morning.
I want to say thank you so much. It's a laudable effort. But I have two quick concerns. First, why we appreciating you? I first want to know what effort you're making in loving with people at the upper house, because we are told there's a bill at the upper house pertaining to this drug issue. The next quick concern is when you go up interior, besides Monrovia alone, all the mining areas, Mr. Minister, I hope you will do a reaching out there. Those areas are very, very much terrible. Our brothers, our sisters, they are in a very terrible state. Thank you so much.
Many thanks. So let's take this call on the line. This other caller is there. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Yes, sir.
I'm Thomas S. Collins. I'm calling from Maryland County, beside People City.
Okay.
Thank you to the minister for his lengthy explanation concerning our brothers that are trying to go on the other side of the world. The program is unique and is welcoming, but my concern is drawn towards decentralization. Why is it that Monrovia is the capital and it need to be launched there? But according to one of those so-called clips, they call, it has statistics of people around Liberia. So that the one they call, it was very huge. If it is true, but I think we have many of them in the Block counties. What are the plans in the future for in the other county to make this the same thing? Thank you.
Many thanks. Let's take this call on the line. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, good morning.
I want to say good morning to the minister.
Okay.
Papa, my name is Mark Doko, and I call from the Office of the Intellectual Alliance. Minister, let me appreciate you for your explanation. I think you spoke very eloquent, as passionate as you were. like we hold the belief that this president is a people-centered president, given the fact that our disadvantaged youth want to be rehabilitated and reconstructed in our system. I think it's laudable. But my concern has got to do with the legislature. So help us in this drive so that they pass the just law right, so that who be just enforcer of bringing justice into our country should be arrested. That law should be a non-billable law, so that no one can come and stand in our way to say, oh, we will stand for the other person. And this is hampering our society. Look at the people around. I watched the football game this time, yesterday. If you saw the performance of these guys, you will want to say about these guys are not Zoko. But the only thing they have to do is for the government to come to their aid, rehabilitate them, reconstruct them, and make them to be a better citizen for our country. And I appreciate the president and the steering committee, which is chaired by the minister. Thank you so much.
Thank you, many thanks. Let's take this call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning to our minister, Zeogar.
Good
I'm
morning.
Madam Dennis from the Airport Civil Society.
Okay.
We want to be on our committee because we were involved in the DDR process. The area that of rehabilitation and immigration was not properly done. People made fun of the children when airports were here 2008, they are tools. But basically, we are dealing with capacity building, training of vulnerable girls and youth. So thank you.
Many thanks also. 0776 540 987 or better still 0880 514 096. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Sabo, and let me say good morning to the minister. I'm Titus. We are calling you from the Lake East City of Cape Roberts Post.
Okay, sir. Let's hear from you.
Well, thanks to the minister again. That somebody called and tried to find out as to what will be the benefit of other counties where some of these rich youth are residing. And I want to make a recommendation to the minister for the program on Thursday. One of the things I think that will add flavor to that program is to send notice to those various centers that those rich youth are, so as to go to the program so that they can feel a part of the program, because once they feel a part of the program, it will give a sense that the program is theirs, and it will give a sense of belonging.
Okay. Many thanks. Many thanks. The minister is listening and you will take a note. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Judge, and good morning to our honorable minister.
Yes, good morning, sir.
My names are Justin E.S. Kiman. I call from Johnsonville.
Okay.
The concern has to do with the fact that there is a rest.
Hello? He's off the line. I'm hoping, I think the caller pushing off. And the caller pushing off the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Minister, for your deliberation. Well, can I add a flavor to what you said to the entire nation, whoever is listening to you? I'm talking about the sustenance of the program. How do we sustain our program? And so for me, I want to add this. Can it be formed out of the national budget? So after you are raised, the 13.8 million, what happened? What happened next? 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years to come. How do we run? And so I think I want to think that direction. 2, if we get rid of the children out of the street, we should be able to go to the national legislation to be able to pass that drug law. Because without the drugs, taken out of the street, it will be difficult to get rid of all of them. Because as the group go in, come out, you see a number of new good things to be their way out for life. And so the law can go along with taking it out of the street. Thank you, sir.
Many thanks. Let's take this call on the line. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning.
I'm okay. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, I'm Ellis Warren calling from Suwaju, Benjamin County.
Okay.
Okay, we tell our minister thank you for your hard work, and we're waiting to support, even if we can't bring it there, we're waiting to put our own fund and do all. But my brother, our children sport, and they already sport. Let the minister can say 12 on the go camera, if you see Liberian falling, you will feel bad.
So today I'm appealing to the upper house. If you can do anything for Liberia, please pass a law. Even if they come in setting, they should pass a drugs law for the whole drugs in the country to stop. And the second concern,
Hello?
DA officer will come here, and you will see DA and the drug dealer moving together. Painful. On the go can sorry. But a lot painful. You see DA officer and drug dealer moving together. You say you MMA to the party, you kill the you have missed.
Hello? Oh, he's off there. He's off the line.
DA and the drug dealer moving
Oh, he's
together.
back.
A lot painful. So that the law pass. That I wouldn't wait for you to go to minister. Thank you.
Many thanks. 0776 540 987. Good morning. Good morning. Hello? 0776 540 987. Or better still, 0880 514 096. Let's take this caller on the line quickly. Good morning.
Good morning. So how are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Minister.
Good morning.
Yeah, Mr. Minister, my name is Momo calling from stuff. Thank you for the program. But Mr. Minister, I just want to ask you.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
to the minister that the people are affected already. They can't get program. All the people that are getting together, burning the children, partying the children, going to experience some parents at home, they don't want to take care of the children. Why you can't ask all the people, Mr. Minister, big and we want to get through how many children, where they are, where they're living, how you born them, where the hospital, and you add the people, all the people want to get the children. Because I heard him talking about take the charge, you keep the charge. But parents are the only children they left with the children with the men. So we can add the other people in the children, but they're not there. The children are out there.
Well, it seems we couldn't get to you. We're hoping I can call back quickly. We couldn't get to the minister. Didn't really understand. Good morning. Your line was cracking. Okay, let's hear from you.
Let me first say thank you to the president and to the minister and to the entire government and our panel. But I want to know, how are we going to get those children from the street? Because you go everywhere, in every community now they are there, and when you see that they're taking into those places, I don't know how happy they will be, because most of them are not willing to go. So I don't know what strategy they come up with to take them out. Thank you again for the program.
Okay, many thanks. Let me take this call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Honorable Minister.
Good morning.
My name is Martha calling you from Tukuru. I just want to say thank the Honorable Minister for the initiative that you have started. But my concern is drawn to the guys around the town after getting them off the street. What becomes of the other men that will be around in the various counties? That's my option.
Okay, he has asked this question. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Take two more calls in
My name is Janja Jackson. I'm calling you from Punafa.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm from Basel all the way. Anyway, but the program only here in Montserrat. And Basel, right now you go Basel, my brother, I tell you what, no lie. To repeat, not for yourself or the youth. Because the youth, they are all over. The youth, they divide themselves into groups. They have the some money group at the Moravian Commission. Then they have the next group. The group can come outside fresh. 9 o'clock in the morning, they will be on the street until 6 o'clock they go back. Then the group from the graveyard, they come in the evening. Brother, I'm telling you something serious to the junction. You will not even be able to pass at 10 o'clock, either 11 o'clock to the junction. And my second concern, how to deal with our program, people, they were not well attended to admit. And then the people they are raised already, they go to the school, they will be there or they will come back home. I really want to know from the minister. Thank you.
Okay, many thanks. Let's take this call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sabo George. I go by the name Shaka Babi Belizu. I'm calling from Zueju.
Let's hear from you.
Yeah, I want to appreciate the minister, the issue of disadvantage
is a national concern in Liberia. But what if you take them from the street and the ghettos are still there? What are they doing to reduce the amount of ghettos all over Liberia, Uncle Camp, in Monrovia, and other constituencies in the country to avoid them coming back?
Okay, many thanks. The minister responds to that. Let's take this caller. Good morning.
Good morning, and good morning to the minister. My name is Abdurrahman Ba. I joined the conversation from the ELW junction. Mr. Minister, my concern has to do with MVDC. I've been training at the Monrovia Vocational Training Center. Since we graduated, we are yet to receive our document. Wherever that we engage the administration, they don't give us any substantive reason. So I've been wishing to one day go on any show that you may partake and to go have a 40-minute opportunity. So, Mr. Minister, I want you to give us the status of our document at the NVDC. How long are you going to take? What are the impediments? What are some of those challenges that are leading to the delay in some of us receiving our document? Thank you very much.
Oh, yes. Many thanks, many thanks, many thanks. Let's hear from the Honorable Minister.
Well, thank you so much to all the callers who called. I thought your concerns and questions were on point. So let me just address them. First of all, this program is not only limited to Monserrato County, like I said previously. Phase 1 is Monserrato. Phase 2 will cover Cape Mount, Bomi, Grand Bassa, and Magibi. Phase 3 will cover Bong, Nimba, Bapolu, and Lofa. And Phase 4 will cover the southeastern region. So we know the at-risk youth, they are all over the country, they are not just in Monserrato County. Now, on the issue of the drugs law, I said also previously that I've engaged in talk with the Senate Committee Chair on Youth and Sports, Senator A.B. Darius Dillon, and he assured me that they are working on it. There were some things they saw that they need to correct. I will still remain engaged, and I'm confident that they will pass the drugs law because this issue of our ratio have gained national attention with this program that we have initiated. I'm confident that the upper house will pass the law. With respect to the ghettos, like I said again previously, we don't have a plan to break down the ghettos. However, as we begin to intervene and probably link people to their various family, that will mean that we are reducing the number of people in the ghetto. And once we observe that a particular ghetto have nobody to dwell in there, we'll make sure through the appropriate authority, the DEA and the police, to make sure that the ghetto is demolished. But until then, until we craft a plan to relocate them, we can't take them from where they live, no matter how dilapidated the place is. There where they live is unfortunate. But these are all things we need to look into and see how best we can find an alternative. And the same applies to the gold mines. Those that are the gold mines, I'm sure that we work with the Ministry of Lands and Mines to figure out what is going on there so that we are able to address the situation, because we don't want people to take advantage of these folks because they are on drugs. And that would be, that's why the Ministry of Labor is also a part of the steering committee. We're not going to have people to carry on unfair labor practice. And the issue of the children, we have reason to believe that some of this is contributing to human trafficking. Because when they are raised youth, girls are pregnant, they are time they give birth, they give their child out. Who they give the child to, nobody knows that. So these are all things that the Ministry of Gender and the Ministry of Health, both ministries will be playing major, huge role into this whole process, and I'm sure that we'll be able to address all of these issues.
Okay, so Mr. Minister, before you go, just to remind us again about the program on Thursday.
So on Thursday, again, I want to encourage the business community, private individuals, the civil society organizations that have been invited. Let's come on Thursday, the 30th, beginning at 10 a.m. The President, His Excellency Dr. George Manna, we will lead the national fundraiser. And let's come and support. And yes, somebody called about the president of the Arrays Youth. They will be there. we have decided to bring them there. It's about them. That's why we involve them with the sporting event. They will be involved with the program on Thursday. Let us come and support the wealthy cause. Very, very important. And finally, to the caller for MVDC, you are not the first person that I called, and I've asked my team. The certificates were printed. There was an error on there, and they were supposed to correct the error. I will follow up with them today to find out, because I don't want to get on the show the next time and somebody asking me what is going on with MVDC. Once you have graduated, you need to have your diploma so you can look for a job and do other things you want to do. We apologize for the situation, but I'm going to get on top of it again. And thank you so much for having me here today.
Many thanks, Mr. Minister. We really appreciate your time this morning. Well, this is just how we go home on this presentation of the SMS. And join us as tomorrow, God willing. We'll be back. On behalf of the entire team, Anthony William has been on camera. My indefatigable producer, Melvin Stewart. On behalf of the buff, Sub George is my name. There's no second chance for first impression.